Hello and welcome to my channel, Bevy with Beth. I'm Beth, and here on this channel I talk all about polycystic ovarian syndrome, the symptoms, how to cope with them, and how my personal journey with PCOS is going. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to catch my videos every week. And today I want to talk about PCOS Awareness Month. And today I have got a cup of tea in one of my new mugs. And it is actually my new all-time favourite tea. And it is by a company called Hoogly. My all-time favourite tea now. And I've just gone and ordered some more because I got this as part of a mystery box. And this vanilla chai, it is so good. So like I said, I want to talk about the PCOS Awareness Month. And for any of you that have not been following me on Instagram, again, the link is in the description down below, where I've shared quite a lot of posts this last month, talking a bit more about my journey and about where I want to go with my PCOS journey. And I wanted to touch here on the points that I made and maybe go into them with a bit more depth, a bit more clarity than I can put in just a Instagram caption. And I'll show you the images that I used on Instagram if you either don't have Instagram or aren't following me there. And we're going to start with my I am not lazy t-shirt. And I think it's definitely something that people with any kind of chronic illness, whether it's a physical or mental, you always get to that point where either somebody has told you that you're being lazy inadvertently, you feel like you're being lazy, or just the society pressure makes you feel like you should be able to do more. Having grown up and then getting diagnosed with several different things over the last few years, which all contribute to that perceived laziness that I had as a child. It's definitely meant that a lot of my emotions around it have been very relieving, in that I genuinely needed that extra sleep. I truly did get very tired at some points and needed to take a nap or take a break. And I wasn't just being lazy. I genuinely needed that. Sometimes we're achieving things on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis. We get to the end of the year and actually we've achieved a lot. And sometimes in the short term, it may feel like we haven't done enough that hour or that day or that week. But every day, actually, we are taking a step towards progress. I talked a lot about fatigue as well, as that's one of the symptoms of PCOS and also of a couple of the other conditions that I have. And by giving yourself permission to take a rest, that can definitely help with the chronic fatigue. But also there are other things that you can do to support your chronic fatigue, to reduce its influence on your day-to-day life. And one of the ones that may seem counterproductive, and was definitely something that I saw as counterproductive when I first started to improve my health, is exercise. And I think one of the key things for us to look at is what kind of exercise we are doing and what kind of PCOS we have. So for me, with the insulin resistance side of things, to do anything that was high intensity, because of my other conditions, I can't do high impact. And at first I thought that doing then any kind of exercise may be counterproductive for me. But obviously, as I started to reduce my insulin levels and I got a bit more energy naturally, it actually turned out that exercise was kind of what I needed. I needed to expend that energy. And it definitely does help to support you having a healthy day or a healthy week when you make exercise a part of your routine. So for a health journey, some form of exercise is definitely very beneficial. But I think we need to look at what kind of exercise we are doing and making sure that how frequently we're doing it, the intensity of what we're doing is actually supporting our body and not working against what we actually need. The next thing that I kind of focused on was the mental health side of things. And I think most of us are aware of the impact that those hormonal imbalances can have on our mental health. And there are other contributing factors like things like our gut health. And like I said, doing exercise helps to keep our outlook on our health journey more positive. And also the fatigue and allowing the rest, how hard we are on ourselves to achieve things that may seem normal, but really are a big stretch for us to achieve. Or we stretch ourselves, achieve those things, and then we fail at something else that maybe we feel is even more basic. And I think learning more about how the hormonal imbalance is affecting your mental health, understanding that many of our fellow sufferers are also struggling with mental health, and then looking at ways for you to cope with those, specifically what you're suffering with. So I suffer with anxiety and depression, are two quite different things. And I think by learning how to cope with your own individual issues, that there's no like blanket, if you have PCOS, do these things and you'll feel better, that you need to understand your own journey in order to find the best solutions for yourself. And so for me personally, because mental health wasn't something that I suffered with until my mid to late 20s, I had no idea how to look after these things or what to do about them. And one of the things that I personally found very helpful was actually taking a kind of self-love and self-care journey as part of my mental health journey, that to appreciate myself and to change the language that I was using to talk to myself, to encourage myself when I did achieve something. And those kind of things are what helped me a lot with coping with my mental health issues. And in this post, I talked about the other thing that I have found in the last kind of, well, this year in particular, but I did know about it the year before as well, is for me personally, it's my connection with and the time I spend outside in nature and actually connecting with the earth, with the seasons, with the actual grass and the trees and the birds, that by forming a routine around spending time in nature gives me a refresh. It's a way for me to, well, for want of a better word, is grounding. It helps me to refocus on what is actually important. And I think it's the main thing with my anxiety, is that it narrows my field of vision then, and all of those kind of like what ifs and concerns about things that might happen in the future. When you're in that moment, feeling the grass in between your toes, smelling the flowers, watching the leaves turn colour, all those kind of things that are very much about being in nature really helps to focus me in on that moment and takes away a lot of the anxieties that I struggle with. And of course, I can't talk about PCOS and my journey with it without talking about weight loss. And it's because I feel like my weight loss journey hasn't at all gone the way that I was expecting it to. Never thought I'd struggle to lose weight as long as I was consistently eating well. Even though I know how insulin resistance works, I really thought a year would be enough time for me to get into a place where weight loss would no longer be a goal. As much as I have got to a weight that is healthy, so I don't have any concerns about having to lose more weight for any reason other than aesthetics. I am surprised, and I have started to struggle as we came into the summer months. I really thought that when I got them back out again, actually they wouldn't fit me. I was expecting there to be oh no, I haven't got any clothes that fit me now because I've lost so much weight. And that didn't happen. That doesn't mean that I'm just going to stop eating well because, I can't lose weight, so there's no point. and I talk about nutrition in this post, where I saw the two as synonymous, right? If I understood nutrition, if I ate nutritionally, then I would lose weight, and I'd be out. That would be the way to get to a weight that I deem as acceptable. I don't want to lose sight of all that I have learnt and all the good practices that I've brought into my life when it comes to what I'm eating and how I'm sustaining myself. That just because I'm not losing the weight the way I want to doesn't mean that I should stop eating well. It's one of the things that I want to focus on, is giving that understanding to people of how what they're eating is affecting their body, and how to choose the best foods to support their body's functions and needs. So I'm going to try and focus on that a little bit more in my Instagram, on the IGTVs. I'm going to do more kind of cook with me's, where I talk about how to cook things and why we're going to eat those things and how they're supporting our PCOS journey. And I will bring that onto the YouTube channel as well. So if there are any particular recipes or foods or time of days, or any kind of nutritional information that you feel like would be really beneficial to you, do let me know about it in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to cover that in the information here. Obviously, go and check out my Instagram, because there's even more information there, and I also share a lot of helpful tips from other creators as well that will also help you in your PCOS journey. So come on over and check us out over there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.